Okay, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a nice lunch and you got some kind of second wind, more energy to think more about sustainable development goals. This is expert panel number 3 of day 2 of our conference, Ecopreneurship and Innovative Investments for Sustainable Change. My name is Kiyoteru Tsutsui. I'm the director of the Japan program here, and also Deputy Director of the Asia Pacific Research Center. And it's my pleasure to welcome you all back to the room and to introduce you to 3 wonderful speakers. This is APARC GAP Fellows session. Global Affiliates Program is one of our prime programs at the Asia Pacific Research Center. And throughout the years, over a couple decades, we've had wonderful scholars and practitioners coming to this program, bringing a lot of knowledge, expertise, and network back to their countries from Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, India, China, Taiwan, all over the world, all over Asia. People have come and participated in this program. And I am really proud to present 3 of the best ones who have gone through or currently going through that program. They're particularly excellent fit for the topic. They are all investors who care about innovation and building infrastructure. So this is a perfect trio for this session dealing with sustainability goal number 9. Okay, so I'm going to briefly introduce them, and then they will each make a presentation. They all prepared a very nice-looking slides, so I hope you'll enjoy them. And then after that, maybe I'll ask a couple questions, but I want to open up the floor for questions, for more interaction with the audience. So please feel free to go over to the microphone once the presentation's ended and ask your question. Okay, our first speaker is Jennifer Jeong-Ah Ryou, who is the founder and CEO of Muirwoods Ventures. And she was a Global Affairs Program visiting fellow in 2017, 18, yeah. And after that, she went back to Korea and became even more successful. Our second speaker is the second and third speaker. They're both current Global Affairs Program fellows. The second speaker is Banjo Yamauchi, who is the founder and CEO of the Yamauchi No. 10 Family Office and Yamauchi Foundation. The name Yamauchi comes from the founding family of Nintendo. So he will speak about his family business and what he's working on right now. Our third speaker, Edward Chen Zeng, is the chairman and founder of NextG Tech United and China Bridge Capital, and he's also the current Global Affairs Program Fellow. I've visited his office in Rosewood, a very nice office, and he does, as you see in his presentation, he does a lot of different things. I don't want to introduce too much of each of those 3 because that's part of the presentation, so you will find out more about them as they go through their presentation. So without any further ado, please join me in welcoming our first speaker, Jennifer. Please go ahead, Jennifer.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jennifer Jeong-Ah Ryou, founder and CEO of Muirwoods Ventures, a venture capital firm with a presence in both Seoul and Silicon Valley. Founded in 2020, we driven by the belief that innovation moves the world forward with a focus on sustainable and inclusive solutions. In just 4 years, we've secured notable returns, including 2 key investments, achieving more 30% IRR. It's an honor to be here today. This conference is especially meaningful to me because I was a fellow at APARC 7 years ago. And I've been looking forward to sharing our journey and vision with you. But first, I'd like to tell you about our approach and highlight some key investments. When investing in innovative companies, we focus on 3 key factors. First, we evaluate whether the company's core technology effectively addresses significant market challenges. Second, we assess its technological competitiveness to determine if it can lead in the global market. Finally, we look at the founders and their team's ability to build a strong business in a rapidly changing environment. So what we do look for is our founders. I look for both strong will and a flexible mind. This might sound like an oxymoron, but founders need to find the balance. They should listen carefully to their team members, not just push their own ideas, while also staying determined to solve key market challenges. I often find myself asking founders about their startup journey and their ultimate goals. Some passionately share why they started their business, their eyes lighting up as they speak. I truly admire these founders, and when I meet someone like that, I get excited and eager to invest. When I introduce companies like this, people often tell me that my eyes light up too. Now, I'd like to focus on 3 main areas of our investment strategy and highlight some companies making an impact in each sector. The first sector is logistics. The logistics industry faces major challenges, like driver shortages and an aging workforce. To tackle this, we've heavily invested in autonomous truck technology. This technology optimizes routes, reduces fuel consumption, cuts emissions, and significantly boosts logistics efficiency by allowing stable 24 hours operations, even in tough conditions. One of our key investments is in Getty AI, the company behind the world's first commercial autonomous delivery service with Walmart. Another is Kodiak Robotics, which completed the first commercial unmanned truck transport in partnership with Atlas Energy Solutions. Both companies have seen steady growth in valuation and are targeting a NASDAQ IPO in 2026. The second area is smarter urban infrastructure. One standout investment is Regentcraft, a Rhode Island-based startup developing all-electric sea gliders to address traffic congestion in major coastal cities. It's not a plane, and it's not a boat. It's something entirely new, combining the speed of an airplane with the low operating costs of a ship. Recent sea gliders can travel up to 300 kilometers on a single charge. And they are set to launch their first commercial flight in Hawaii in 2026. With the growing demand for sustainability in global aviation industry, Regent is attracting significant attention. We've also invested in Enercamp, a Korean startup, provider of mobile EV charging solution. Their self-driving, on-demand EV charger eliminates time and location constraints. Recognized as the CES 2024 honoree, Enercamp solution ensures fast, safe, and accessible charging for all. Last but not least, we are focusing on the shift to sustainability. One of our portfolio companies, APARC, a Korean startup, is automating waste sorting with AI-based robots to increase plastic recycling rates, addressing labor shortages in harsh working conditions. Their vision is to create cities where robots manage waste, contributing to a more sustainable planet. Another exciting company is Beyond the Dome, founded by a Stanford PhD, which solves sludge problems during wastewater treatment and provides clean water. They are currently in talks with San Francisco and Palo Alto for commercialization. These are a few of the exciting companies we've invested in, and I'm proud of what we've accomplished. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from an unconventional background. I didn't major in engineering or business, yet I believe the reason I've achieved strong results as a venture capitalist in a short time is because, like many of you, I studied social sciences. Social sciences are all about people. My curiosity about people and my instinct to put them first have enabled me to spot great founders. This is why Muirwoods Ventures is the only Korean investment firm involved in some of the hottest deals in Silicon Valley today. At Muirwoods Ventures, we are proud to partner with companies that use technology to make a meaningful, positive impact. These companies not only tackle real market challenges, but also contribute to a more sustainable future. In a rapidly changing world, we believe entrepreneurship and technology are essential to building a better tomorrow. As Korea's first female VC founder, I'm honored to serve as a bridge, helping Korean startups enter the US market and enabling our US-based portfolio companies to expand into Asia. I hope today marks the beginning of our collaboration, and I look forward to working together to drive innovation and shape a brighter future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. That was wonderful. And next up is Banjo-san.
Hi, everyone. I'm Banjo Yamauchi. I'm very happy to be part of here. So at the beginning, I would say, so my company is typically different from Nintendo. So, if your expectation is this, so they're hearing from Nintendo stories, so I would say a bit sorry. But anyway, so so let's do my presentation. So I'm the founder of my family office and my family foundation, and the fifth generation of my family, the founding family of Nintendo, or Yamauchi family. So, and I have belonged to APARC for about 2 years, so it's my first clear, commitment to APARC. So I'm very happy to have here. So and thank you. So and so you may be surprised to hear that Nintendo was founded in 1889, the end of the 19th century. My founder, my ancestor, Fusajiro Yamauchi, started the company in Kyoto, Japan. That was Nintendo. And so back then, the main product was traditional Japanese playing card, Hanafuda in Japanese. And this is my family tree. So it's been 135 years since my ancestors started Nintendo. So thanks to the effort of my first generation and second generation, Nintendo became one of the leading card manufacturers in Japan. But after that, so my grandfather, he was the third generation. He transformed the Nintendo business from playing cards to gaming. And as you may see, so I'm the fifth on the family tree, but technically I'm the sixth, but so due to the family dynamics, so I'm not fifth, so it's a bit complicated. Anyway, so I started my family office and family foundation in 2020 and in 2021. So today I'd like to share some of my activities. So my presentation will not directly address on today's topic, SDG 9, but I'd like to so present my project as an example of how we can contribute to a better future of human beings with long-term perspective by making resilient infrastructure. So my organizations have mainly 5 functions. Today, I'd like to introduce 2 of them. So first one is a global investment in the deep tech industry. So actually, I'm a big fan of science fiction, movies and comics and anime. So my interest is to witness the moment. So the futuristic idea and technology will change the human life. So we cover relatively broader areas compared to typically GP funds. And we have 9 themes. And so by working with our partner, including the venture capitals and other family offices, we usually do due diligence of the companies. And today, this is a bit old materials, but this is some of my portfolio companies here. So today, I'd like to introduce 2 of them. So first one is Astroscale. Astroscale is based in Japan, and they recently achieved IPO. And their business is to clean up space debris in orbit. And due to the huge amount of challenges to the space for human being, so there is a lot of space debris. So like a piece of space shuttle and space satellite. So there has been a serious problem for us to continue space activities. And so I think the cleaning business sounds super Japanese, so we do have cleanliness. So and so the founder and the CEO of the company, Mr. Okada, is also vice chairman of the international international space organization. Sorry, I forgot the name. But he is also making effort to arrange and establish the international space laws. So that means in order to make a better future and sustainable world. So the entrepreneur's challenge is also lead to the creation of the international law. And other example is Mission Bonds. They're based in San Francisco. Their business is to create alternative meat. Their technology is to they can grow a pig cell into meats. But as you may know, so the current alternative meat industry is losing investors' interest rapidly because the the growth has not been as rapid as expected. Because the reason why I brought up this company's case today, we have to think about the how to say nature of capitalism. Capitalism is not patient. Although we need to develop this and also technology and realize our sustainable society. So, and next topic is it's very different. But so my family foundation is developing the birthplace of Nintendo in Kyoto. So the project name is Soha Project. Actually, the birthplace of Nintendo in the Gojo area in Kyoto. We are reinterpreting and reinventing the Kyoto's, Kyoto's intertwined social scene. So with our global network and the family's atypical brand name, our purpose is our project is to create a new social ecosystem. So to connect various types of people from very dynamic various fields like scientists, artists, deep thinkers, and entrepreneurs. So we are pursuing some projects. Like riverbank construction. We are leading the landscape design of a river with Kyoto City government, and we are building some facilities, including a studio and labs for artists and scientists. And so we are holding the mind-blowing festival. So with exclusive invited people, guests from all over the world. So as you may know, Kyoto has a long history. So it has about 1,200 years since the city began. So my purpose of I will share some picture of the. This is a map of our project area. So we own about 15 real estates, and as I mentioned we are doing riverbank construction, and we are creating facilities for various type of people, and so we have a picture, but anyway, this is some of my community's members. So there are very type of people, different type of people, like architect and game designer, and fashion designer, and artisans, monk, and Buddhist sculpture, and scientists, and so on. My purpose is to mix their perspective to create an idea which we've never thought of. That is my goal in this project. And so my family committed to continuing this project for at least 100 years, because if we want to make one paragraph in Kyoto's history, so we need continuing of this project for at least 1 century. So I like to share this project as project with a long-term perspective. So I think it will be meaningful for this session. Thanks so much.
Wonderful. You're both doing great on time. So now it's up to Edward to keep the punctuality going. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Professor Shen, and also the APAC faculty to invite me, not only myself, I also invite my daughter. She is a visiting professor from MIT to join the conference. And this is give me more time to have a family reunification. Today, I'd like to share with you about what's the NextG. Actually, we call it 5 elements of the universe. For the art, in Chinese we call art is a creation, is a fire. And the energy, is a sustainable, so we call it wood. And the life is like water, so we call it, the life. And the fintech, the goat. And in the middle is technology, we call it earth. So in the Chinese, maybe Korean, and also Japan as well, we call it 5 elements of the universe. So my company's model is like try to build the multi-module data hub powered by AI, blockchain, and metaverse. So first, I'd like to share with you about my company's, in the last 5 years, we are highly committed in the global sustainability value chain. On the top part of the value chain, called global sustainabilities. The second half is called human sustainabilities. Otherwise, if we cannot live healthy and longer, and there's no sense for the global sustainability, right? So we are invest and integrate and cultivating all the two value chains. And for each value chains, we also, for example, for the global sustainability, we focus on the clean energy generation and the clean energy storage, and also the clean energy consumptions. For the clean energy generations, we are all those companies, we call the next generation unicorns. So they're the cutting edge technologies, using the new technology to improve the global sustainabilities. The total size in the last 5 years, we have invested $2.5 billion worldwide. But 90% of the investment become profitable is in Silicon Valley. For example, recently we invest solar, complete solar, and this company, last week we closed transaction. We take over one of the largest solar company in the U.S. Now we become one of the biggest solar player in the U.S. And the Alpha Ring is, the Alpha Ring is another company, is also the cutting technology called nuclear fusions. And this company, if that's happen, if it becomes successful, the whole Japan probably need only one station, can generate all the energies. So this is going to be another exciting project that we're working with. In the COP28 in Dubai, we officially announced together with the U.S. ambassador, in Dubai. And this one is a hydrogen technology that we have deployed many stations right now in the Middle East. And GCL is the global largest Silicon Valley silicon chips in the world, about 30% market share. And the Star Charge is the global largest EV charging company, and they have 20 million global users. And now they are the leading the EV charging and the VPP worldwide, in Asia, Australia, and Europe. And this is storage company, very interesting. It is invented by the Stanford Professor Tsui, and is nickel hydrogen. They recently just take a PO purchasing order from the Aramco over $1 billion. And the 4C company is another air storage company, also invented by Stephen Chu and Tsui professor here in Stanford. And they saving 20 to 30% air conditioning for the buildings. And Empress is the global largest, longest, high-density battery for the drones, aviations. And also on the consumption side, like a Lucid, I'm going to share some case study. And Lucid is an EV company, and also we have autonomous driving, WeRide, and also the TCL is a global second largest next to Samsung for the TV and the solar company. So we have office, New York, Palo Alto, London, Dubai, Beijing, and Shenzhen. And also on the healthcare, we have invested a lot of things in the awareness, infrastructure, and entertainment. Recently, we just make a movie in the following Henri. It's become an Oscar committee invite me to have an internal screening. Hopefully next year I'll be in the Oscar committee, the red carpet, And now I invite my partner, Bob Daly, for the co-producer as a Gabino, which is another Godfather movie. Hopefully, it's going to be another Oscar winner. So we have a heavily vast, if everybody go to New York, let me know, because we have 27 Chinese restaurants. And also the foot massage, one of the best. Yeah. So, so when we start investment, we're all thinking about it globally. What's the value chain for each industry? For example, if we go to the solar industry, we're starting from the top, from the upstream. What is the whole value chain? Upstream. Who are the players? Who are the top 3 players in each field? So, for example, for the upstream of the solar industrial value chains, we're starting from the silicon materials, coal components and equipment. So we study all this, and then we become a partner with most of them in China and also worldwide. And then we go to middle stream, and then go to the downside. So this is our thinking. We're thinking not only for China, not only for U.S., not only thinking about the Asia. We're thinking globally, and also for those value chain, what is changing in the next 10, 20, or even 50 years? So based on those analysis, we know who are the players, and who are the partners, and what is our position. And for example, I give today, because time is very short, I give 2 examples. One is energy, one is art. Yeah. For the energy part, we have maybe 2 or 3 cases. One is in the year 2023, which is last year, we have exit one of the investment called Lucid. We partnership with the PII. Together, we raised $4.5 billion through the SPAC. Could be the largest SPAC in history. And when we're talking with the founder, Peter, in my office in the Rosewood, actually he's the first client, first day, and we signed a deal in 10 minutes. And he's so surprised. And then he almost bankrupt. And then we turn around the company from nearly bankrupt and as high as $95 billion company. So you can see this. It's a crazy years, 2 years ago and 1 year ago for SPAC. We didn't cash out on the peak, but still we cash out in the middle. Still make a very high return. The total size for cash out is over $1 billion. So through the 3 funds, we have a very good return. But in return, we are thinking about Lucid in the future, in 10 years. They could be the real competitor of the Tesla. I have a car in the parking space. If whoever want to try it, you can try it. The quality, the speed, that we can have 1,000 kilometers for one charge. And today, they are launching, the luxury car, SUV, and eventually the stock price hopefully will coming back again. We still have a lot of shares. And another case, which is we just finished 1 week ago, through the through the SPAC, I invest the 4 round and working together with Credit Suisse, and then we merge with the T.D. Rogers and also the John Doerr. He is a big donor for Stanford. And most of the money he made together with the T.D. Rogers. And those 2 combined together have turned around more than 6 companies in solar industry from nearly bankrupt become a $10 billion company. So that he cashed out a lot of money. That's why he donated to Stanford, And now we're, well, that's the possibilities, And actually, the 2 together joined me to invest Complete Solar. And after they join it, and hopefully there become 7 companies turn around the company from bankrupt for $10 billion. That I can donate some money. And so after they join us, stock price, you can see going up like more than 6 months. We're going up like more than 370%. And recently, we just took over the SunPower, which is one of the largest solar company in the U.S. So thinking about it, we got a U.S. player, we have an Asian player, and now we become the mixed player in the U.S. So we are, you can see the footprint of the post-merge. Before this is our company. It's very small. It's only $100 million revenues. And take over this, we are over $1 billion sales. So we are now become one of the leading player for the American residential solar. And after residential solar, the next step is more aggressive. I can share with you, because this is going to be our 5-year plan. I can share with you guys. For the level 1, we are working with the Star Charging to do the largest EV charging. We're thinking about we're about 11 times bigger than charging point. And through the charging, and then we can do the microgrid, and then we can do the virtual power plant, and then we can do the electricity trading. So this look like a Uber for electricity. And based on this data, and on this side, from generation, energy storage, and this consumption, combined together. On this side, actually is a Tesla. Tesla is a EV and the solar city and storage. On this side, nobody here. Right? It's the biggest market. It's going to be the blue oceans open. Could be $10 billion to $1 trillion company will be emerged. If you look at Europe and Australia, there is a 2 VPP company, just starting like 2 or 3 years. Now it's over, one is 1 billion, one is 3 billion. So this is something we like to see in the future 5 years that we're going to build together. And the future, I just working together with Stanford and also all the companies that we invest, we try to build what we call a sustainable house. Hopefully we can working with Banjo in your old building in Kyoto. So we do everything zero carbon, from all the technologies, people with the sky, using the solar. People with the people, we have a lot of saving and closing new materials. And then with the people with the land, storage, consumption, and the environmental. And then people with the heart, like a gallery, all the things. So this is something I'm doing right now. I also donated my house in the Lazado Hills as a pilot test. So hopefully in 1 or 2 years, it's going to be work. And so this is my dream. But I think talking about the art, I think this is another thing. I have a lot of passion for this. If you look at art histories through the pre-modern stage to the Renaissance stage, from the Impressions and to the Corbins and the for the Futurism and for the abstract, all the different. If you look at a 100 years history for the art, all the art is reflecting the society. Is kind of the memory of each society's thinking, the movement of the social movement. Now we're thinking about it in the year 2025. We just bought 2 galleries, one in Carmel in California, another one in New York. We try to open the global first AI, blockchain, and metaverse powered next generation gallery. So we call ourselves the ARTech. It's going to be, you can see, all this animated by AI, and also we're working with you know, the big artist, for example, in the middle, the art over there this is a Damien Hirst. So we're making his butterfly, Bloomsong. You know, he has so many famous paintings. We're making this become alive. So butterfly will be alive, and the Bloomsong will lasting forever. So this is something we are trying to working with global artists together, and also for this is in Park Avenue in New York. You can see we position ourselves as the next generation's gallery, and for each gallery, the art is going to be shown differently. Before, the people only have a painting on the wall, and then we'll bring all the paintings become animation, become AI, become a metaverse. And then more aggressively, we're thinking about working together with the blockchain and crypto guys to making the 12 mathematicians who matter, who changing the world. Actually, yesterday, a Nobel Prize gave the AI fathers, is the Nobel Prize winner. So we're thinking about a 12 mathematicians, 12 chemistry, 12, physics, as a 12. And also, the last mathematician, before using the Turing, now we're thinking about the Coinbase founder, the Bitcoin founder, Satoshi, as the 12 mathematician. It's going to be the crazy. And also we try to inviting global artists working together with us, not only for traditional gallery, but also for the international crypto guys to do together. Yeah. So this is something we position ourselves as the artist, is the new generation of the art. Yeah. You can see all this. We have something. So this is, in my view, today is people to people with a machine. But in the future, we're thinking about a machine to machine for people. So that is time to coming. And so we call the infrastructure is going to be changing dramatically. It's called the ABM infrastructure, which is AI, blockchain, and the metaverse. And this will be changing the whole infrastructure, the way of the people thinking, the way of the people living in the future. So today, at the cloud-based, they have a company called Amazon. It's a $1.3 trillion company. They do the similar thing, 5 elements. They're in the middle. They are the cloud-based data hub to supporting the medical, supporting the energy, supporting the entertainment, supporting the the finance. In the future, this is a NextG, which is a company that we call the next generation technology company. This is a company we invest. We are ABM based, which is AI blockchain based multi-data hub. And they're the cloud based. So hopefully we are representing the future multi-data hub. Yeah. And then, this is my house. This is a Lucy car, and they have a storage. They have everything. So we're thinking about an environmental impact, economic impact, and the social impact combined together. This will be the future, next generation. Thank you.
Wow, that was wonderful. It's 3 fascinating, mesmerizing presentations from Jennifer's sea gliders and other mobility solutions to Banjo's Kyoto development, and also this astroscale sounds like a Marie Kondo of the outer space, really fitting for Japanese investors to get into. And Edward's, so many, I counted in your figures, at least 50 plus projects that you showed here, but you probably have many more, from Gambino to foot massage to solar panel. It's all fascinating. We can spend a lot of time asking about each of those projects. But and I will get to Q&A from the audience. But I just wanted to set the stage and ask this fundamental question. So I'm not an investor, so I don't know how investors think. Clearly, you are all wonderful visionaries, dreamers, and that's kind of where your motivation comes from, I think. And today we're talking about investment for sustainable society, sustainable future. And we asked you to think about those issues and environmental contribution, social impact. But to be honest, in your day-to-day operation, if you're being honest, to what extent do you think about something like SDGs? I think it might vary across different social contexts and across different investment areas. But I just wonder about the mindset of investors, especially as you work in the private sector. Right? So you can really do whatever you want with your money. But there's some kind of social imperative to think about something like SDGs. But really, seriously, to be honest, to what extent do you worry about that stuff? Think about that when you make investment decisions.
I believe social contribution and profitability is not separable anymore. So if the company really wants to have a sustainable business model, then they should focus on social contribution as well. Yeah, that's
so
what I think.
It's not difficult for you to do both.
Yeah.
So it's my opinion, but so there have, so sometimes the conflict between this, profitability and so making social good will be happened, So I think we need to divide the role. So for example, in my opinion, the CEO is to promote the profitability, but so in terms of governance, so outside board members, so encourages to contribute in terms of social impacts, So I would say CEO is just a human being, so he or she cannot do everything. So so I think the current world trend is a bit dangerous because so we need so we acquire profitability and social good and good governance, blah 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 blah. So we need we need to divide so each roles so in our all activities, not only investment but also so creative activities. It is my opinion.
Yeah, I always think about the social impact, environmental impact, and the economic impact. All three have to be together. Without social impact and the life have a meaningless, but without an environmental impact, I think the world is going to be, the future generation is going to be, suffering. But without economic impact, it doesn't make sustainable growth. So, we are like a first generation. We don't have the money before. We're starting from nothing. Not like a Banjo, so lucky. So we are fifth generation. So we have only 2 generations, and I'm the first generation. So every day, I have to think about, what about if I'm bankrupt? What about if I have no money? What about if, in my life, I never think about anybody give me the money. So I only think about how to make money to support my team, my grown up. And now we're making some money. We like to contribute the world. Actually, next week I'm going to go to one of the biggest global philanthropy society. We do some donation as well. But the main focus, we like to focus on the global sustainabilities. Yeah, so those are the 3 combinations area. We only invest global sustainability sectors as an environmental impact. And a portion of the money we do support for social impact. But without making money, without making big money, we don't have a voice. We don't have a power to do the sustainability. Yeah, that's my view.
Great, thank you. I want to make sure that the audience gets to ask questions. If you have questions, please start lining up behind the microphone. And to your point, I think it's something like SDGs or these global efforts that are creating, and so events like this, I hope, are creating an environment in which profit motive just doesn't dominate, and the kinds of mix, the social environment, investment environment that you see today probably is very different from a few decades ago, and it's a lot of that, I think, is thanks to efforts like SDGs. Now I'm going to turn to the audience question. Thank you, Matt.
Hi, thank you so much to all of the panelists for presenting your really innovative and inspiring work. I have a question for Edward specifically. As we were talking about over lunch yesterday, I'm somebody who's really stimulated and energized by arts, design, and architecture. And I'm curious, as a business person, your investments in those areas, is it something that the other sectors you're investing in, do they mutually support each other? Or do you see yourself investing in those areas because you get personal satisfaction out of it, or more because you're creating a social good? And maybe another way of framing what I'm trying to get at would be, obviously you found a way to do it profitably too, but is it just a separate business, or is it really integrated with and leveraging and supporting all of the other lines of work?
I think that's a very good question, because I have a combination of the creative part and also have the execution part. As a creative, because I'm studying mathematics, like before I do the exam, I have a drawing everything everywhere, But once you have a conclusion, have to be simple, logic, and unique. So for the creation part, I generate, the 5 different area: energy, create art, look like a different. But behind this is like a multi-modal data hub. It's all the data. It's either as a text, or as the art, or as a film, or as a video. But behind this is data. It's a kind of multimedia data. So for us, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter it's a food or something. Actually, we are invest the food restaurant and the morning tea 4 months got money return in New York. Why? Because we pre-sell all the marketing through the TikTok, social media. So people line up 1 hour. And so most of the tea house, they like a 2 years, 3 years return. We got a 4 months return. So we're using the data to control the CRM, using the data to control the supply chain. We're using the data to do the sourcing. And then we collaborate sourcing, always the data. Same thing for the movie, same thing for fintech, same thing for solar. Eventually, it's a multi-modal data. So this is, in my view, people can see outside different, but for me, it's the same thing. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Good question. Yeah.
Any other? I'll wait for as we wait for more questions. Oh, you come on. Yeah, please.
Well, 2 points. One, do you see any U.S.-originated competition in the solar space? And 2, what do you think of the transferability of the NEO replaceable battery model in China to the United States?
Well, we'll see the big competition. Actually, we're only the minority shareholder. Majority shareholder is still T.J. Rodgers and John Doerr, all the Americans. So we are the partner with them. So we are not the controlling shareholder, we're the small shareholder, less than 10% something, But the company is big. I think the real competition is the major competitor still in the U.S. because they have a technology. They have a capital. We also have a very freedom, sustainable, stable social constitution infrastructure. I think much better than China. We have a unstable system. So I think today the most competitive advantage players still in the U.S. I don't think I think China still the second tier in terms of the renovation, in terms of the long-term sustainability. That's my view. And for the battery part, there's a duty. If Donald Trump becomes president, it's going to be another 200%. So I think a duty rate will be making U.S. become more stronger, for the duty. Yeah.
Hi, folks. I'm Chris Traub. I've been in human capital, executive recruitment, and venture building for the last 36 years, and out in Asia. And I'm interested broadly for all of you is the role of cultural transformation in big enterprises in terms of their ability to adapt and scale transformational equitable technologies. Are they ready? Are they willing? Are they able to do so? And the role of leadership of people who see it and get it, like people who are in the room. Can we push that so that there's more scaled adoption of technologies that enable us as a commons to get there? And I guess just one question simply for Edward is, do you think that the need for aligning between the US and China on climate, on all things ecology, can overcome the other stuff that causes such disruption and competition and angst between them? Do you feel like we can actually use the common need of everyone to drive solutions and that we might get there more? That's just thoughts. Thank you.
Any of you?
So I can start first. I think to answer your second questions, we are leaving only the one word. And if a big pollution in China is going to be worse for U.S. If the Earth become global warming, and everybody suffered, and China, U.S. have to work together as a partner. It doesn't matter ideologically or politically, economically. Maybe have a competitor for different field, but for the climate exchange, have to be working as one family. Otherwise, we all suffered. Yeah.
Would you like to add anything? The role of Japan or South Korea in this, or anything, whatever else you would like to say?
So yeah, so my idea is not so ready to so the confliction, so the U.S. and China, but because this conference is so in APARC, as Asian Pacific Research Center. So when we think about after 2030, that means SDGs and including SDG 9 has been settled by 2030. That means after 2030 we need a new idea. So we have to update. Yeah. So for the future, right? So then I think so around 2028, the discussion for the next global agenda will be started. So then we should think about what we can do, how can we contribute to the rebuilding the new global agenda. So I super respect the importance of sustainability and ESG and SDGs, but the global agenda has been settled by mainly European countries. So I think we should apply Asian ideas, including China, Korea, Japan, and other Asian countries to the new one. Yes. So that is my my idea.
Yeah.
As former Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said yesterday, we don't have second planet. We just have one planet, so all we work together for the better future and better world, I think. Yeah. And here's a suggestion. Why don't we launch the Korea-Japan-China Alliance Fund for the better future? Why not?
Yeah. I think I like to endorse Jennifer's idea. Maybe Professor Shen, we should APAC. This is such a unique platform. Any department in Stanford have not such a diversified, the excellent people, diversified from different things. Why not we set up a APAC sustainable lab? Somewhere, we can build a house and we can enjoy the food, play the game, see the galleries, and we have investors. We have a soccer club owner, we can play everything, We could set up, something like a fund or lab to make, the Stanford APAC become the new emerging player, for the world. This is something I really like Jennifer's suggestion. I'll be supporting, yeah.
Great. So on Banjo-san's point, the very first TPSD that took place in Seoul, we had Governor of Hiroshima, Governor Izaki, come and talk about nuclear weapon-free world. And this morning, as we learned, the Nobel Peace Prize was given to Japanese NGO that works on Hibakusha organization. And when Governor Izaki presented that issue, people saw that as a little bit kind of somewhat detached from SDGs, but he made a great point about how important it is. I mean, if nuclear war happens, it's like the same thing as climate change, right? The world has to deal with it as a whole, and the consequences, catastrophic consequence would be global. So that's another thing that Japan has a unique perspective on that particular issue. So these kinds of contributions from each of the, not just the three, but many Asian countries in the region would be very, very valuable. So sorry to keep you waiting. You can go there, and then you can.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I have a question about overall situation about ESG investment. I think because I really I just wanted to ask a question about your maybe LP investors, for example. Because I think there are so much backlash on ESG investment these days. So do you think maybe your LP investors bigger companies are still struggling to fill the gap between economic rationality and environmental perspective, or and do you see any changes from your LP investors toward ESG ESG investment?
Great question. About especially in the U.S., there's a lot of backlash against ESG kind of investment, and some investors are disavowing that issue.
My company is investing in some GPs, so in the U.S. and not only in the U.S., so also global. But so it's my opinion. But so as one of the investor, so if investor will focus on sustainability rather than so financial return, the world will be grasped. So I think so we should divide the role. Or if the world require investor to focus on sustainability and so social good, our society will face the difficulty to maintain the the current society. So, but at the same time, we have to update, So I think the companies, the management of the company will be more responsible for making social good. But but again, so that means that CEO or only CEO will be responsible for that kind of topic. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, so I think we should separate the financial activity and social good activity, and so that includes a mindset and budget. So that is my idea.
Other thoughts? Do you face similar kind of backlash in Korea and in Asia? Backlash against ESG, like focusing too much on environmental, social kind of contribution or governance transparency?
Actually, it's a very complicated issues. Yeah. And honestly, I didn't focus on sustainability too much at first, but now, until last week, it was too hot. So those kind of things reminds me about focusing on climate tech more and more. Yeah. So that's what I thought.
The reality is helping you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you for the three of you. It's really interesting to see the viewpoint for the three different countries. I have a question about sustainability in a different way. Is that part of what we've seen as all of these new technologies are coming is that sustainability of the consumer, right? This is, in other words, is there a portion of, what are your views, and this might be by country, of kind of employee ownership of companies, profit sharing plans of across the boards? In other words, the advancements we're seeing, a lot of times, I know in America, there's a lot of people that are not part of those advancements. They're not able to be a part of that. I don't know if culturally, in either in Korea or Japan or China, is there any thought to the sustainability of your consumers? And in terms of being able to have your workers be a part of, there used to be in this country, there used to be a culture of ownership from the employees. And is that important? Is it important to have, because otherwise it's either companies are looking out for you or the government's looking out for you, right? So it's usually one or the other, maybe both, if you live in the right place. So I don't know, is that part of what you're looking at as you're building, of saying, hey, we're going to take our workers with us and have them be part of this and share in some of, of that, what's being made from that innovation? And maybe too political of a question, but I just thought, I just don't know about what the history of that is in your countries.
It's a question about differences in consumer culture, right? Consumer-producer relationships relative to the United States in Japan, Korea, China, Hong Kong. Do you notice anything about that? Is the public more supportive, say, in Japan, toward producers that care more about environment, which may have been the case, I don't know. US public has changed over time. But do you notice any difference in the consumer behavior in terms of SDGs?
I think world have three different groups. One is like Europe, is overdeveloped countries. They're thinking about ESG is very critical for them, because it's going to impact their lifestyle. Even the Olympic opening in Paris, they're using ESG, no air condition for the athlete. They're saving the carbon. So very, this is Western Europe, and then second tier will be U.S., which is so big country, and some people support it, some not support it. But you have such a big country, such big land, such big nature things. And it's a 50-50. But in developing country like China or like, the Africa or like, the Asian developing countries, their surviving is the most important. So they don't care about, the carbon thing, but they can do whatever, they can survive. I think ESG is not their priority, not even the second priority. Maybe a third priority. So it really depends on the stage of the country and also the people in which level. I think, so my conclusion is European, well-developed country, they're thinking about ESG is very critical. And US, 50-50, but a developing country, I think not first priority, not second priority. That's my observation. Yeah.
Actually, as an investor, we are focusing on B2B SaaS. So I don't have much things about that. But I realized that Korean, especially young consumers, are care about social responsibility. Yeah, it's very good thing for the future.
I want to touch on one, unless there's a burning question. I'll touch on one issue. You are the first female venture capitalist in Korea?
VC founder.
VC founder in Korea?
Yeah, there are many women CEO or chairman of the VC, but not many founders.
Okay. So that's fantastic. And as we talk about SDG number 9, part of the SDG number 9, if you read, I forgot it was 9.2 or 9.3, is about diversity and inclusion in this world, in this investment world. And the investment world is notoriously male dominant.
Right.
And wherever country you go, it's a dominant ethnic group is dominating that world. So in thinking about this world of investment, what do you, I mean, for you, this is a really central question, but what do you think about? Do you pay attention to those issues, diversity and inclusion? That's another layer of social impact. In diversity and inclusion issue, how do you try to enhance that in your world?
We have investors joke. We cannot find a woman entrepreneur who have trouble about the people or some kind of problem. So it's a joke, but there are so many entrepreneurs who are male. Actually, I can find many women investors, especially young women investors in Korea. There are more and more women, female investors entering this industry. So they are very familiar to investing in the companies who run the company as a female CEO. So as an investor, actually, if the CEO of the company is female, it's not the benefit for investing those companies. But many of women founders doing very good. So I can find more and more women founders here and Seoul.
It's encouraging. Anything to add quickly to that? Okay.
Thank you. I'll
Final
keep it short. Oh, and I'm short. Thank you so much for a wonderful panel. I was most impressed by just the scale, right? Be it the land and air and like sea, it doesn't even matter. Like mobility to 100-year, love that 100-year vision. By the way, I love sci-fi too. So my son would want to talk Nintendo with you. I would talk sci-fi with you. And also the 5 elements, right? It's basically you're saying that we're going to make the next gen universe. So the scale of it was amazing. And I thank you for bringing in the diversity aspect as well, because I think that's much needed thing to like Renaissance, like the diversity of vision is needed to bring this kind of revolution. Super happy to hear that you will do something with the center to make a super PAC or something. My question is, given the ginormous scale that you're taking on, be it time or like area-wise, when it gets down to nitty-gritty, like what do you look for either in the company, which one of these many areas, which one of these many companies, which one of these many founders, what do you look forward to initially go in with, and then in many cases, like you follow up, invest, right? So what's that thing when it is really practical in the moment decision that you look for?
Yeah, okay. I think I'm the lifetime entrepreneur. So if I have some idea, from IP to IPO, this is the whole thing I'm thinking about. I really like to see if in the coming 12 months, when I study here and know so many friends, I like to see if we can set up something which is eventually become the milestone for the global sustainability for the new revolution. I think Jennifer just proposed. I think we are all the venture capital and PE fund, and also Banjo also both in the industry and also investment, and also have so many good classmates. And we think about maybe do something, using the Asia Pacific, different thinking, different technology, complementary, such a diversified things to do something totally different. So this is my perceptions, passion. But I like to maybe have a further discussion. Yeah, maybe let you know in 1 year later to see what happened. Yeah.
And I will try that car.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Open.
Final thoughts, Banjo-san?
And also a portion of the money we donate, making our SPAC become sustainable. Yeah.
So before starting my company, so I'm seeking and I'm thinking of my role in my family. So as a current generation, and through research of my family's history, so I defined my family's DNA as a creativity and pushing boundaries. So that's why. Not only investing, also supporting to creative activities and philanthropic activities. So I like to express my family's DNA. So to all activities with entrepreneurs and with artists, creators. I think that is my role, and it's a kind of my family's survival strategy to maintain my family's identity. So because we are no longer involved in the management of Nintendo, I think. So that is our so the way to maintain our social standing and our identity. That is my idea.
As I said, I'm honored to serve as a bridge, helping Korean startups entering into U.S. market, and also as I have explained, I have many U.S. based portfolio companies. So I want to help our portfolio companies to expand into Asia. I think that's my role as an investor. Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for all the wonderful questions from the audience and your participation. But most of all, thank you, all of you, for the wonderful presentations, inspiring ideas, especially the idea to launch an APARC initiative on SDGs. I can't contribute any funding, but maybe we'll contribute administrative and intellectual ideas. So please join me in thanking our wonderful three speakers.